you kind of talk us through and set the scene and talk to those neighbors. Ben, you wanted to say something to Richard?
Yeah, Richard, I think it's important to give you credit that you have been on this story
Ben, you talk, you can look
just
and see
about
there.
longer than any other local reporter that I can think of here in the Charlotte area. You know the case better than most. You know the history because you've been here for most of the history. The three of us were talking here earlier about, for the longest time, it seemed like this was the coldest of cold cases and that it was going nowhere. Were you thinking that we would never find answers in this case?
You law enforcement, and there's always the hope. But we law enforcement, and we have to say that when we deal with law enforcement, of course, there are things they cannot tell the public because of the way cases are handled. There's always people saying things, but they want to be careful because once you have information and if it goes to court, you want to make sure that you can have a proper prosecution. You don't want to do something that can hamper that. So there's always rumors, but there was always the hope that someone would say something, or there would be that little piece of evidence that would lead to resolution. Now, right now, I want to say, as I'm talking, you see them now going through this particular area of brush over here. So I expect at some point we'll move back a little bit more, give them more time to search this area. This is outside in the wooded area, right? This school, the Norfolk School, they're going through with machetes and with long poles to search and see if there's anything they can find. They said they were given permission from the owner of this property to look through this property to see, and it has been confirmed by multiple sources that this is in regards to the Asha Degree case. But people would tell us that they are just hoping to get the proper piece of information that then start to uncover more information that lead to that proper information that would lead to all of the answers, and the answer, of course, leading to where Asha went and what actually happened to her on that night of February 14th, 2000.
Oh, wow. I mean, Richard, your sound's going in just a little bit, but yeah, we see the crews there. Nate said that this could be an old school, and you confirmed that, and also mentioned, Nate, a dog. That we didn't see a dog, but then we just saw one.
We didn't know if with so much passage of time, if a dog, what ability. Interesting, and I was just kind of looking because I'm trying to figure out. We said that the Deadman family may have owned this piece of property at one point. That's what the deeds suggest. What was that property used for? And as I'm doing my searches, it's just amazing the amount of Reddit threads on this topic and web sleuths out there that are trying.
And it was. I'm sorry, because I guess the lag. Let me slow down so you guys can hear me. It was actually a school at one point, and yes, it was at one time owned by the Deadman family, the same family that owned property that was part of the other search that we talked about some months ago. So we can link those two things together, and they were given permission to search on this property as well. We can confirm that much. We can also don't know the exact reason what it was used for. There are people who tell us, but they're not the family or people who were here at the time, so I can't confirm what the family bought it for. But of course, we'll find out. We can look at the deeds and records and find out what it was used for, what the family bought it, and their purpose was.
Hey, and I just want to say too, it's just so people understand how responsible we're trying to be right here, because you even hear Richard, he has information. He doesn't know if it's accurate, so he's not going to share it. And that is what we try to do all the time. That's why when I see a deed, a black and white property record that has names in it that are connected to this case, we can go on air and tell you about it. But we're not just taking guesses out here. It's not the business that we're in.
Right.
We're not looking for secondhand information. We are trying to go directly to the source to get the information we need. So just, again, credit to Richard for doing what we all do, being smart. And being respectful and responsible journalists here.
We do know that is Lincoln County Sheriff's Office in the orange. We could see on the back that is now a land search label on the back of their team shirts there from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. Looks like they're the ones that are conducting that search with the machetes and those big poles.